I'm William Smart from Smart Design Studio, and this is where I live. Today I'll take you through some of the unexpected things in our home. This is actually more than a coffee table here. It's where we hide our TV, and we couldn't hang it on the wall even if we tried because the walls aren't vertical. So what we designed here was to make it lift up like a giant laptop, and inside there we have the TV, a soundbar, and even trays here where you could take food and bring it to the space and have a laptop dinner. This is about the 5th one of these I've made, and every time I've had an opportunity to refine the design of it. Recently we made them in timber veneer and they're absolutely beautiful. Made me wish that I'd had ours in timber and not this matte polyurethane finish. The particular bricks we used here are from Barrel, so they're locally made. They're called Barrel Chillingham White, and the bricks have been glued together so you don't see the mortar joints. When the bricklayers laid it, they laid them all at 45 degrees for the joints, which kind of rifle up through the space and give lovely layer and texture to the room. It's kind of subtle to see, but when you know it's there, it's very beautiful. Built into the face of the ropes here are artworks by Mike Barr. These are some artworks that we purchased many years ago and never tired of. We absolutely loved living with them in a couple of other places before here, and so we felt that they needed to be designed into the space. To do that, they're on the face of the robes, and these frames, if you like, between each of the artworks become the handles, and then the artwork is mounted behind acrylic, which helps it to stop fading and doesn't quite go to the ground. So it just stops a little bit short, giving it a more relaxed look. This is a table I designed for our home that's about 3 meters long and about 900 wide, which is a relatively narrow table, and I prefer narrow tables to wider ones because it's more of an intimate experience. It's made out of mild steel, and laminated onto the top is just furniture linoleum. This is a material that was very popular in the 80s, and not since then, but what I like about it is it's almost like leather, but it's a very ordinary, everyday material. It doesn't mark, it doesn't scratch. It's slightly dense because it's slightly soft, but that kind of releases itself over time. And the leg we designed a bit like the shape of the building, like the vault or the facade, which has a solid side, so a convex side, and a concave side on the inside. So it's very kind of heavy and light at the same time. This is an art stand that we designed for our apartment because it's very difficult to hang artworks on the wall, and we like that idea of layering the space with things that might float in the room. It's painted in a primer rust red, which is a traditional colour for warehouses for stopping the rust from coming through to the surface. And I think the design of it, where one element is just laid next to another but done beautifully, is the epitome of our design essence. The base sits over the frame, these sit over the side, and there's no miters in the design. That's kind of how we like things generally. The staircase is one of my favourite features of the building. It's completely freestanding, so it's supported off one column at the base, and it spirals up through the building without touching the sides. That allows light to come up or to go down to the level below. And within that we have it all made out of steel. I really love how it spirals back into the centre post, almost like it's kind of floating out of the central post. On top of that we have these stone steps that are laid on it almost like they were pavers just sitting on the surface. And that is almost like a carpet up the centre of the space, but it's obviously made from stone. These are some stools we designed for the space, and I think it's hard to find stools with a back that really worked for every place. I couldn't find one, so I designed it. It's made from flat plates of steel and then angles with just a very thin padded leather seat in the middle. And it's really comfortable, more comfortable than it looks, and just the perfect height and the perfect relationship to this island bench. One of the biggest challenges on this project was installing these windows above. Firstly, they're large. It's cut from a piece of glass that's 6.3 by 3 meters, so a very large sheet of glass, and then it's cut in quite an unusual shape. The other hard part of it was installing it and making sure it fitted perfectly between the vaults, and you could imagine craning that and bringing it in, offering it up. So we had to bring it in, wedge it, and almost twist it into place. It was one of those days that I was on site watching it for about half an hour, and I couldn't take it anymore. I had to run away and just not be a part of it. It was too stressful. This is a credenza that extends 16 meters. It's the whole length of the space, and there's separate drawers here that incline to the same angle as the vault. And then behind this is where we conceal the other TV. So this is the telly that you can watch when you're in bed. The face is MDF, and they kind of scalloped it to this beautiful shape, and then the top is Corian. Yeah, and so that lid is in Corian there. And what's great about Corian, that's all Corian there, is just like, because there's so much texture in the space, we wanted to have some things that were just very neutral. And the form could be interesting, but I felt like the texture needs to drop away. Otherwise it can be a bit too rustic or overbearing, I think.